Hello, I'm Vanessa and I run several jewelry courses in London, and today we're going to make some jewelry. In this video I'm going to show you how to make a beaded bracelet, and we will be using chain in combination with the bead. To start, you will need some tiger tail wire. I am using 7 strand. This is the type of wire, 7 strand, and the thickness is 0.38 of a millimeter. This is quite a good thickness, sort of versatile. You will need some 2 millimeter crimps. You need some closed jump rings. These are soldered completely and do not have an opening. You need some big open jump rings. These are approximately 15 millimeters in diameter. You will need a small bit of chain. This is a 6.5 centimeter length of chain with a clasp attached. You will need some beads, which already has the pin head attached with a loop on top of each one. You will need a big circle, and this is made out of shell beads. It's a shell bead circle. You will need some additional beads. This is optional, and you will need some smaller beads along with some different sizes of beads. And this you can vary as you wish. When you see the finished bracelet, it will make more sense. And then also optional, if you would like to wrap some beads, you will need some head pins. To begin with, first we're going to crimp the end of the wire. So we thread in our crimp, thread in a closed jump ring, pass the end of the wire into the crimp, so it's as such, and then you pull the crimp tightly against the jump ring. Use a pair of crimping pliers. It's very important to practice with these pliers first before using them on your final piece, because it's a 2-step process. First, you put the crimping tube in the back. There are 2 sets of grooves, and you put it in the back grooves, squeeze, so you end up with a heart-shaped crimp. Then you put it in the front groove of the plier, standing on its end, squeeze it, and this will fold the crimp over and secure it tightly. There are instructions on these particular crimping pliers. They're made by Beaded. Then you begin to thread your beads. You can arrange them in any design or pattern as you wish. I have a little tail here from the end, and I'm going to slide that into the first few beads. So I've reached my end. Now I'm going to thread in a little tube crimp. These are 2 millimeter crimps with a solid jump ring. These are completely closed. I'm going to pass the end into the jump ring, and the end of the wire into the last couple of beads. Hold the end of the wire and hold the jump ring and pull, so you want to tighten to remove any gaps. And before you do anything, you want to crimp that, secure the end so that your beads don't fall out. Again, you place the crimping tube, the crimping bead, in the last set of grooves in the crimping pliers. Squeeze tightly to make a heart-shaped crimp. And put the crimp in the first set of grooves. Squeeze tightly, and it folds it over. And there you have one length. And I'm going to make 2 lengths and attach 2 lengths onto here, and my chain will be here. Okay, so now I've finished stringing both strands, and I have the tail sticking out. So I'm going to use a special pliers. Now these are side cutters, but they're slightly better than an ordinary side cutter that comes into a plier set. It's called a flush cutter, and it's very good for cutting tiger tail. If you have one of these, keep it safe and don't use it on anything else other than tiger tail, because any metal will damage the blade, and if you're doing lots of beading, you want to keep your flush cutters in good condition, so it makes it easier for you to cut away the extra wire. Now I'm going to use the shell bead now. With these jump rings I could just open them with my hands, very easy. I'm going to attach one in there and another one in there, and I have the option now of either attaching, I've attached a second string in that big jump ring, or I could use an additional jump ring. So open the jump ring again, thread in. I'm also going to thread in some of these. Now to finish it off, clasp is attached here. I'm going to put a big jump ring. To keep the theme consistent, I've used big jump rings all here and here. So I'm going to attach another big jump ring here. Now this might end up being too long for me, and it is a little bit. My clasp is at the end here, so I'm going to move the clasp. As it's a link chain, you could put the clasp wherever you wish. So if one day you would like to have a tight bracelet, it's absolutely fine. You could move the clasp along. Just going to move the clasp there. You could see how to make this clasp in another video. And this is how you make a beaded bracelet.